Happy Thursday, everybody. Welcome to end of day update. Starting with Bitcoin. Bitcoin got this big, massive candle. Now we have green dot on RSI, but we can see if I go to 1 hour chart, you can see we made a new high. You can see we are making higher highs, higher lows, but RSI is still showing divergence. You can see we made a new high on a divergence. So this is a divergent high. So just be careful. We could get a pullback still, even on a daily chart. We made a new high. You can see RSI is still lower. Okay, you can see RSI is still lower, higher, higher, low. Now, if it keeps going higher, then it will if obviously gonna get rid of this divergence. It's going to burn through and it's going to go higher. Okay, but that's what I will be looking for. But for now, although I have a green dot, I just got to be a bit careful. Be very careful with next couple of days. Let's see if they can go and break this resistance. So it in one day came to this resistance. You can see this 42K resistance. I have it here for a while, and one day it's going there. All right, so if you get a pullback, that's very good. We want to see a higher low confirmed. So basically a little bit of pullback would be very healthy for this market. So I want to see something like this and then going higher. All right, so that will be very healthy and I would recommend that. But anyhow, it's back on this resistance area, big resistance. It's not going to be easy to break this resistance. Okay, this was the target. I have it for basically by the end of this year, so it can consolidate here. And if I bring moving averages, you can see what's happening. Bitcoin is finding support on this green line, which is 10 moving average. If I zoom in, you can see this green line, 10 moving average finding support here. All right, massive. All these other lines, 20 moving average, 50 EMA and 50 SMA, and then 200 EMA and 200 SMA. They all will act as a support if we go down. Now we did break out around about 32, 31K. We haven't back tested it, so I'm just a bit careful about that. Ethereum, massive pump in one day came to this big resistance zone. Okay, so this is going to be a big resistance zones, and you can see price went way ahead of all these moving averages, so it can consolidate here. So I think for next couple of days, Ethereum needs to consolidate and stay. That will give time to these other moving averages to catch up, so just be mindful of that. All right, so again, I was saying this was the buy zone. People who watch my channel, I was telling this is where you want to buy. It's in the buy box, and you can see from the time we bought to now, Ethereum is up almost 40%. All right, that would have been a great buy if you bought it there. All right, guys, that's it for crypto. And one thing to note on Ethereum, I don't have any divergence. You can see massive pump, and you can see RSI. It's unlike Bitcoin. Bitcoin is making new high with divergence in RSI, but Ethereum showing no divergence. Okay, so that's a very good sign. But you can see background is green. That means very oversold for the overbought. Sorry, for the short term. So be mindful of that as well. Let's go back to traditional market. VIX a little bit higher, but that's why it's not going to go straight down. But I'm looking for new lows by mid of December. And you can see, let's go to triple Qs. You can see what tech is doing. Tech is back testing. Okay, we had a breakout yesterday. We took a couple of days. We stayed above this white line, and now we're just back testing. So I really want this line to hold. Now, if for some reason, if we come below that, then we are probably looking at this gap fill around 363. So we have to see if we get bounce from here, or if we're going to come back test this, and that could be another option. Okay, so what I'm looking for, two scenarios: either come back here and then bounce, or we can just bounce right now, right here. All right, so my preference will be bounce right here, but if we don't, then look for this gap fill around 363 to bounce. And on SPY, very similar chart. Let's find SPY here. So you can see SPY is a bit weaker. It got above this resistance line but got rejected, so now it's back on support. Now there's possibility there's another gap here. It could come, it does look like tomorrow will fill this gap, so that will be your entry. So this gap fill here around 431.47, that's your entry. And if I go to 1 hour chart, the gap is filled. If I go to regular chart, as you can see, there was a gap here, and if I hide these moving averages, there was a gap here which I got rid of, this one. So this gap is filled today around 438. Okay, so now there's no gap to the top side. There was one gap before, we filled it. Now we're looking for one of the gaps to fill and then bounce, and that's my preference. And Dow Jones also same thing, back testing, back above large breakout. It made a higher low, higher high, and now it's just making a higher low. This is where it should be finding support and bounce. Okay, so you really want Dow Jones to find support and bounce right here, right now, and then eventually break this trend line. All right, that's what I'm looking for. Russell 2000. Also, this is high low still. So let's see if we can break out after this. That's what I'm expecting. Gold, again in this buy box, you can see it broke out, back testing in the buy box, looking for a bounce. This is where we should be looking for support. Silver, also in the support buy box, and this is where I should be looking for a bounce. Natural gas back on new low, so the trend is changed, but it's finding support on this 50 daily SMA. Now it can go still a little bit lower, and the support area would be here around this trend line around $3. So that's what I'm looking for. Crude oil, massive downside move. So this is done. So we can get rid of this. I was telling everybody that this move is coming, but now it looks like it wants to consolidate here. This is a massive support. So look for support here. We are back on support. Dollar index still bouncing, but I really want this to fail. That's going to help Bitcoin and crypto and gold and stock market to go higher. Apple, again, massive breakout, just back testing, so nothing changed. Tesla down 4%. Still, this gap is not filled. Looking for a little bit lower tomorrow. I want this gap to fill tomorrow fully. So this gap is still left. A little bit gap is left. Sorry, let me get this indicator right. So looking for this gap here tomorrow and then go higher. Netflix. Nothing changed. Looking for a higher target 475. Microsoft also just backtesting. It could fill this gap before it can go higher. So let's see if that happens. So let me delete this line and then try another line. So looking for this gap to fill. Sorry, just get rid of this gap to fill and then go higher. And Google also, it could come back to fill this gap before it can go higher. That's quite possible. So let's see if that happens. Meta, Facebook, flat. Higher prices up, 357. Amazon, down 1%. Nothing changed. Looks like its gap is filled. So let's go to 1 hour chart. We can take this as a gap fill. So let's delete this gap. There you go. So again, so looking for now a bounce. Snowflakes down 1.4%, consolidating, making a flag before it's going to go higher. NVDA up 0.18%. This gap is still there, so maybe it will come a little bit lower and then go higher. AMD also consolidating, nothing. Toronto Stock Exchange gave back all the move, looking for this gap to fill. Another gap here. Hang Seng Index down. Basically, there was this gap, I think. There's this green line, 171, looks like it wants to come fill this gap before it can go higher. Bonds, backtesting this breakout, so good time to buy. Copper in the buy box. Palladium keeps going down. This is like a capitulation on Palladium, very, very oversold short term. And yeah, it's nothing, but it's in the buy range here. Long term hold, you should be looking to collect here. Wheat, again in the buy box here. Looking for any weakness here, look to buy wheat. Corn, flat, but again, going lower on our divergence on RSI. So things are looking okay. Soybeans coming back in the buy box. Sugar, again, green, holding it nicely. Looking for it to come back to this trend line. And let's look at Newmont Mine, biggest gold miner, capitulating, going lower. Another 2.3% down, but it's going lower on a higher momentum. Gold miners, GDX, looking for this gap fill. Look to buy around $27. And sector-wise, XLK, nothing, looking for back test of 172 and then go higher. XLE, energy sector, this gap is filled, so you can delete this. So now this is where I should be looking to buy XLE. Nice support here. XLV, massive breakdown. You can see this support line is broken, stayed above it a couple of days, now massively broke it. There was a gap, that gap is also filled, but this could be another higher low before a change in trend. Wait for it to go back to on this trend line. XLU, again in the buy box here. Utilities, industrial, looking for this gap fill around $98. Real estate sector, same thing, looking for gap around 33.31. Financial sector, looking for this gap around 33.37 to fill. KRE, regional bank ETF, looking for this gap to fill around 39.89. Shopify, 3% down, but still holding way above all these moving averages, so nothing changed. So everything is looking all right, looks like so far. And I think that's about it for now. Again, you can see live futures. We are just back testing. So the best case is we back test and we bounce. All right, guys, hit the like button on your way out, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.